Saartjie Baartman was born in 1789. Her people, the Khoikhoi, called the Gamtoos Valley their home. This land in what is now South Africa was where she spent her early years. The Khoikhoi lived in harmony with nature. They were known for their cattle herding and unique language. Sarah, like the other children, learned the ways of her people. She roamed the land free and connected to her roots. Her life, much like the valley itself, was about to be disrupted. European colonialism had cast a long shadow across the African continent. This intrusion brought with it a hunger for wealth and a disregard for indigenous cultures. For Sarah, this disregard would have devastating consequences. Her story, though rooted in tragedy, is ultimately one of resilience. It is a story that continues to resonate today, reminding us of the enduring power of exploitation and the fight for dignity. Saartjie Baartman's life was tragically cut short, but her legacy continues to inspire generations to fight for justice and equality. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the horrors of colonialism and the importance of preserving the dignity of all people. The year 1810 marked a turning point in Sarah's life. This was the year she encountered a man named William Dunlop. Dunlop was a British military surgeon stationed in Cape Town. He saw in Sarah an opportunity, not a person. He was captivated by her physical features, particularly her large buttocks and elongated labia, which were considered unusual by European standards. Dunlop, along with a showman named Hendrik Caesars, made Sarah an offer. They promised her wealth and fame in London. They painted a picture of a better life, one where she could escape the poverty and limitations imposed by colonial rule. It was a cunning deception, preying on Sarah's vulnerability and her hopes for a brighter future. Blinded by these false promises, Sarah agreed to travel with them to England. She left behind the familiar landscapes of the Gamtoos Valley, unaware of the nightmare that awaited her. Little did she know that she was embarking on a journey that would strip her of her dignity, her freedom, and ultimately her life. Upon her arrival in London, Sarah was immediately thrust into the spotlight. She became a spectacle, displayed in cages and on stage for the entertainment of curious onlookers. They called her the Hottentot Venus, a dehumanizing label that reduced her to her physical attributes. The term Hottentot was a derogatory term used by Europeans to refer to the Khoikhoi people, and Venus was a reference to the Roman goddess of love and beauty. A cruel irony given Sarah's circumstances. People flocked to see her. Paying to gawk and prod at her body, they were fascinated by what they perceived as her exotic and unusual physique, fueling a trade in racist and sexualized imagery. Sarah was subjected to humiliating examinations by scientists and doctors, eager to study and categorize her body as if she were a scientific oddity. Section 4. Degradation and humiliation. Sarah was more than just an object of curiosity. She was a victim of exploitation. She was forced to perform in degrading shows, paraded around like an animal in a zoo. The shows were often lewd and dehumanizing, designed to emphasize her physical differences and to entertain the European elite. The money she earned from these performances went directly to her captors, while she remained trapped in a cycle of exploitation. The abuse Sarah endured went far beyond the stage. There are accounts of sexual assaults perpetrated against her, a horrifying reminder of the power dynamics at play. Sarah was a woman of color, alone and vulnerable in a foreign land, at the mercy of those who sought to profit from her exploitation. Her story is a stark reminder of the intersectionality of racism, sexism, and colonialism, forces that continue to marginalize and oppress individuals today. Section 5. Death and desecration. After years of this inhumane treatment, Sarah's health deteriorated. The constant exploitation, coupled with the emotional toll of her captivity, took a devastating toll. In 1815, at the young age of 26, Saartjie Baartman died in Paris. Even in death, her ordeal was far from over. Her body, instead of being returned to her homeland for a proper burial, was subjected to further indignity. Georges Cuvier, a prominent French naturalist, dissected her body. He preserved her skeleton, brain, and genitalia, putting them on display in the Musée de l'Homme in Paris. Her remains became a macabre spectacle, a testament to the scientific racism that sought to justify colonialism and white supremacy. Section 6. A Journey Home. reclaiming dignity. For over a century and a half, Sarah Baartman's remains were kept on display in Paris, a grim reminder of the dehumanizing legacy of colonialism. It wasn't until 1994, with the end of apartheid in South Africa, that the call for her repatriation gained momentum. Nelson Mandela, South Africa's newly elected president, formally requested the return of her remains. Finally, in 2002, after years of campaigning and legal battles, Sarah Baartman was brought home. Her remains were laid to rest in a place called Hankie in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. This event was a powerful symbol of healing and reconciliation, a testament to the enduring spirit of the human desire for dignity and respect. Sarah Baartman's story is a tragic reminder of the horrors of colonialism and the exploitation it fueled, but it is also a story of resilience, resistance, and the fight for justice. Her legacy continues to inspire us to confront racism, sexism, and all forms of oppression.